Welcome to a new video. 10 common tips to survive in danger that turned out to be deadly. In our lives, we have learned many common tips for surviving when a life-threatening danger occurs, and many of these tips can be found on the internet or on television programs specialized in this field, such as Man vs. Wild. But it seems that many of these common tips and ways to survive our lives may lead us to doom. Having been tested far from the buzz of the internet and TV shows, many people have warned against following it in dangerous conditions. In this article, we review the 10 most popular methods that are recommended to be followed when exposed to mortal danger, which turned out to be of no use to you except to accelerate your death. Common tips to escape death in cases of danger. Beware of following them. Number 1. Save someone from drowning. Many people think that saving a person from drowning depends on getting them out of the water. Once you succeeded in removing the drowning person from the water and performing artificial respiration to make sure that the water came out and that his lungs were still working, it was over. In fact, many of the shipwrecked died after being rescued. The reason is that the lungs are normally covered with a slippery mucus that lubricates the surface and prevents them from sticking or collapsing. Swallowing too much water can flush the lungs and remove this mucus, which can lead to a relapse at any time and impede oxygen uptake. Number 2. Report a missing person. False common advice. It's unclear if it's true or just a myth common in the movies, that a missing person is reported to the police 48 hours after their disappearance. But if that's true, you reduce the chances of finding the missing if you follow this advice. In fact, the first hours are crucial when someone suspiciously disappears. Therefore, if you feel that someone is missing, you should report it to the emergency immediately. Number 3. Using river rocks to make a fire. Rocks. Not so much advice as a common camping behavior that many hobbyists would commit. Whatever happens, don't use rocks at the bottom of rivers or lakes to start a fire. Many of these stones trap water inside them. Once heated by fire, it turns into a grenade. Due to the heating of the water inside the rock, it turns into trapped water vapor and gradually expands until the stone explodes. Hot rocks will scatter everywhere, causing injuries and possibly killing if they hit sensitive areas like the head, chest, or neck. Number 4. If you meet bears, go down the hills because they can't run down the hill whatever happens. And whatever scenario brings you together with a brown bear in one place, never think of applying this advice. That will do you no good at all. Brown bears can sprint through hills and are even adept at climbing trees. Therefore, even climbing a tree will not be to your advantage. If you happen to come across a brown or black bear during an expedition in the woods, it's best to withdraw quietly without making any kind of noise that might make you look bigger and like a threat to the bear. If the bear is not in an attacking position, it is best to lie on your stomach with your hands on your neck and pretend you are dead. If the bears do not feel threatened and are certainly not hungry, they will not attack you and will quietly withdraw from the place. Number 5. Watch animals to distinguish poisonous plants from others. If you are wandering in the wild and wondering if you can eat certain plants or drink water, watch the animals. Their behavior will reveal plants and safe water to you. Well, considering that many animals are able to consume things that are toxic to humans and process them in a different way in their digestive system, that blows away the previous advice. Number 6. The right thing to do in a snowstorm. If you happen to get stuck in your car during a snowstorm while driving, it's best not to get out of your car to look for help or get to safety. You are already safe in your car and inside a warm shelter. Even if a car is covered in snow, it's easier to spot a snow-covered car than a snow-covered corpse. Also, do not keep your car running while you are trapped in the snow. Snow will enter the car exhaust and block it. Alternatively, you can start the engine only in short bursts. If you ever get out of the car and don't heed the previous advice, no matter how hot you feel, don't take off your clothes or cut your layers. The heat you feel because your body burns calories, you lose body heat, which gives you a feeling of warmth.
And if you haven't gotten away from the car yet, it's best to follow your footprints and head back to take cover in your car until help arrives or the storm stops. Number 7. If you get lost in the desert or the wilderness, save water. Although it's one of the common survival tips if you get lost in a desert, a forest, or a place you don't know how to get out of, saving water is a bad option. In fact, most survival cases resolve within 72 hours. Many hikers who were found dead in the desert had their bottles full of water. Therefore, to make the right decision, your body must remain hydrated, avoid dehydration, so that your mental abilities remain healthy and you can think in a correct, logical way. Number 8. How to deal with a snake bite in Australia. It is common knowledge that snakes are different types, and each type differs in its venom from the other. This means that being bitten by a snake requires an accurate description of what the snake looks like, or even better if you can kill it and get it, or at least take a picture of it. In Australia, it's different. You do not need to prove the identity or shape of the snake. The anti-venom used for snake bites is the same and universal for all species. Number 9. You can drink cactus water for rehydration in the desert. Whatever bad scenario you're in, never try to drink aloe vera water. It's undrinkable and can cause vomiting, diarrhea, and worse, dehydration. Number 10. What would you do if you got stuck in a forest fire? A common scenario is for you to find a depression or a cave and hide in it until help arrives or the fire is put out. In fact, if you follow this advice, you will be suffocated by smoke or by fire consuming all the oxygen. Your chance of survival will be greater if you decide to run through the front of the flame and protect the sensitive parts of your body, which are your eyes, mouth, and nose. At first, the flames will hit your face and the hot air, so protect them well and take a deep breath before running and then try to reach the front of the area.
If you like the video, do like and subscribe to my channel.